Good morning, students, to all of us on the other end of this virtual call. As usual, we are absolutely thrilled and delighted to be with you. My name is Wayne Fagan. I'm chair of D. Howard International Education Foundation, and we have with us Carlos Velez from UTSA, UT San Antonio, excuse me, UT San Antonio, from the Classic College of Engineering and Integrated Design, and Jill Ford, also from UT San Antonio Classic College. And our special guest for the day is Natalie Rodriguez. I'll take a moment and introduce Natalie, but first I'll turn it over to Jill for some welcoming remarks on behalf of UTA San Antonio.
Thanks so much, Wayne. And I want to say just a big hello to all the students there at CETA. We're so happy to have you with us. And also a big thank you to Natalie. So as Wayne mentioned, I'm Jill Ford, Assistant Dean for Student Success in the Classy College of Engineering and Integrated Design here at UT San Antonio. And we're so excited to be partnering with the D. Howard International Education Foundation on these presentations for our Rural STEM initiative. So happy to be here and looking forward to the presentation. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you, Jill. So just a quick word, Natalie Rodriguez is a interior designer for VVIP aircraft and yachts. And I'll let her explain what all that means. And I'll turn it over, Carlos, to you and Natalie. So Natalie, if you'd like to, we'll go for about 30 minutes, leaving 10 minutes for questions, Q&A with the students and Natalie. So over to you, Natalie.
Oh, Wayne, thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you today and really excited to share with you one of the biggest passions of my life. And this was totally something that found me. And I knew from a very long time that I've wanted to design aircraft interiors, actually around the time I was your age. We'll get into all of that in just a second, but we're going to be talking about the secret life of private jet interiors. And so when talking about private jets, I'm sure that a lot of people might think of, they might have an idea of what that might look like. Private jets, you normally think of them being a certain size and in certain shapes and everything. And while we do aircraft interiors of that size, our main specialty and our bread and butter are actually aircraft that are the size of airliners. So what's pictured here, we've got some Boeing aircraft on the left-hand side, and then we've got some Airbus aircraft on the right-hand side. And so whenever you're flying around the US, if you're going overseas and wherever you're traveling, chances are you're going to be traveling on an aircraft that looks like this. And when you think of the interior of these aircraft, we have a very they tend to look, where there's a lot of seating, there's baggage bins, and you can accommodate many passengers. And these types of interiors are absolutely so cool, absolutely so awesome. The types of aircraft interiors that we specialize in as a design practice actually look quite a bit like this. So common requests include bedrooms, bathrooms with showers, conference rooms, game rooms even. There's so many different things that we can do in an aircraft interior and so many crazy things that we can put in. And we'll come on to all of that in just a second. But really just wanted to show you a couple of teaser images and at least to show you, if you wanted to do this when you grew up or get older, you can do this actually. And I'm going to take you through exactly how I got here. And so when I was around your age, I was very much into visual arts. So you can see here over on the left-hand side, this is me and one of my friends in my art class, and we participated in this chalk art contest. And I was literally around your age. I think I was maybe 13 or 14 years old. And then over on the right-hand side, this is a wall that's in my parents' house, where it just has all of the artwork that I've done. And so all of that to say that I think that uh, painting, sketching, playing around with different mediums of art. I think that really laid the groundwork for really fostering that creativity and helping me get into the role that I'm in today. And so, while this doesn't look very STEM on the surface, it's I grew into sort of the STEM kind of category as my career has gone on. But just so you can kind of see where I was when I was your age, I was very much into visual arts, and I was also a dancer. So I grew up doing competitive dance. I was into all different kinds of dance, actually. I did ballet, tap, jazz. I even did acrobatics and contortion, lyrical. I did everything at the dance studio we grew up at. Um, we were trained in all different types of dance just in case we wanted to go out into the world. We would be well equipped with whatever the role that we were auditioning for would require of us. And dance has also taught me a lot about teamwork. There's a lot of teamwork in our field in aviation across all different. I mean, you've got design, you've got engineering, you've got production, upholstery, cabinetry, and then you've got the artisans, that specialize in faux paint. And there are just so many things, and we all have to work together so much. And dance really laid the groundwork for how I did it. So, all of that to say, when I was your age, even the things that you are doing now, you could be doing track, you could be doing football, or you could even be doing on the debate team or something. And everything that you are learning in your specific ways, they're going to help you. They're going to help you with wherever it is that you're going to go. So much like this is where I started, and then as as I got older, this is where I'm at now. I design aircraft interiors for a living, mostly, as mentioned earlier, the large transport category aircraft, so Boeing and Airbus size, where we basically convert airliners for private or corporate use. And actually, to be a little bit more specific, our main clientele tends to be either private owners, or ultra high net worth individuals, or corporate companies and Fortune 500 companies, all of that good stuff, and then heads of state as well, and government programs. And each program is so special, they're so different, and we have to approach each project with such care and respect and love with each and every one, because each customer is going to have their own individual needs. And so, just to get into that just a little bit more, it all starts with an idea. Every single project starts with the owner of the aircraft, or whoever's going to be operating the aircraft. They're going to have a goal, they're going to have a vision, and they're going to have a certain way that they want the interior to be. They want the passengers to come on board, and they want to feel a certain way. And we whether that's giving them a place to rest, or giving them a place to all sit around in a circle, say at one of these seating groupings, and having a nice meeting, a nice discussion, or a nice meal with your friends and your family. There's always going to be something different. And so, taking this project from 2019, a few years ago, just as an example, and much like most projects, we start with a floor plan, and according to what the customer needs are, how they want to use the aircraft. We've got, for this particular project, we've got a crew rest area in the forward part, so that way, whenever the crew is resting, they have a place to go. They have a place to sleep in between servicing the cabin. And then we have 3 different lounge setups, actually. So we've got forward lounge, mid lounge, aft lounge, and the forward and mid lounge are identical, but then the aft lounge is a little bit different, having a couch in there. So we're just changing it up a little bit. And then it gets a little more interesting as we go to the back. We've got a master bedroom, and then we've got two lavatories as well. And some of our terminology is also a little bit different. So lavatory, that's how we call the washroom, the bathroom, the restroom. Lavatory is what we say. If you're into doing yachts or boats, they'll mostly say head, if not lavatory. So it's really interesting just thinking of the different ways that we say different things. But then we've also got the forward and the aft galley where all the food is made. So you could consider that like the kitchen. And so from this floor plan, essentially, we will bring this floor plan to life, and we will sketch, and we will ideate, and we will put color schemes together, and essentially we will go over these things with the client, and we will make sure that we're fully aligned with how we want the furniture to be styled, what colors we want to use. And all of this is so driven by the client, because some clients like warmer color schemes, some want more cooling and soothing color schemes, some want something that's very bold, and some want something completely different, and each project is so special and different. And so we will develop those sketches further. We'll go into materials as well, and we will do detailed renderings of any of the key elements of the interior. So for example, the tables, you can see that this particular table opens up in the middle, so that way it can go low and come in with the leaves, and you can make it a coffee table setting, or you can have it up high and you can open the leaves so that you can dine and play games, or whatever it is that you would like to do, have a meeting, etc. But then we'll also get into selecting the materials, and there are so many different materials that go into an aircraft, and it's hard to capture it all on one slide. And this is the one way I think that's probably the best way to show it. You know, we've got carpets, we've got countertops, we've got flooring and seat leathers and fabrics, and all of these can be applied in different areas of the aircraft. And something that's very interesting about the materials is we have to pass very specific burn requirements, and it all depends on the passenger count. That also helps dictate which materials we can or can't use, how the aircraft is going to be operated as well. So if the aircraft is going to be for private use, for example, but it's under 19 passengers, we're a bit more flexible on the materials that we can use versus an aircraft that's more for charter operations, or an aircraft that's for rent. And basically, if it's over 19 passengers, especially, then we are more limited on the materials that we can or can't use, because essentially why we have these burn requirements, it's in the event of a crash, you know, say God forbid, the aircraft crashes and things catch on fire, and we never want that to happen. We want to keep everybody safe as much as possible. So what materials are going to burn the slowest to give everybody a chance to, you know, to exit the aircraft safely and to get everybody off the plane safely. And so all of these things come together, and they play such a crucial role in just keeping everybody safe. So there's a lot of science that goes into these material selections. And even after we select, say, a fabric, a leather, anything that goes into the aircraft, we have to have it treated. And there are certain ways that the burn lab can treat the fabric to make sure that it passes, and they might try it a couple different ways. And then we also have to keep in mind how the color looks, how the fabric feels, because the customer is expecting it a certain way, and the treatment sometimes affects how that looks and how that feels. And so it's it's all so much science, and I'm sorry if I'm going on about it so much. I could go on and on about it. But just so you know, there's a lot that goes into something that looks very pretty, and so it takes a lot of care, attention to detail, and there are a lot of restrictions that we have. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun, and it's like a puzzle. So we have a good time with it. But then once we have everything defined and we have everything in a good place, then we we essentially take the sketches and the floor plan and we create these what we call an elevation and detail drawing package. And so we've got very high level of detail happening for both of the images that are listed here. And these are just a couple of examples. I mean, the actual documents that we come out with when we're doing an aircraft interior. I mean, the book is so thick. It ends up being a very thick book because there are so many different things to dimension and document, and um, there's just a lot that goes into it. And so basically, this is also to show that everything that you see in the aircraft interior is completely custom. It's that there are no two aircraft, hardly ever two aircraft that are the same, unless the owner wants them to be the same, because sometimes that happens too. They'll have multiple aircraft and they'll want the layout, the color schemes, and everything to be the same. But in this case, we have to give the documentation to engineering and to production to have everything built and fabricated. And engineering will also have a look over it as well. And we try to pre-engineer a little bit ahead of time, especially if there's something new that we're playing around with, like say a new solution or a new seat concept or a new layout, anything like that. We try to make the engineers' jobs a little bit easier, and also so that whenever we go to the customer and we're presenting all of the options, we don't have to go back and say, oh, actually, just kidding, we can't do that. But we do like to collaborate with engineers quite a bit, just to double check, especially if we have a question about something. We definitely want to get that additional input and that additional blessing that we're heading in the right direction, that we can do everything, that we can build everything. And the same thing with production as well. You know, they've got their own best practices for how they build tables, seats, cabinets, any custom fixtures that are going in. It's all a team effort. You'll hear the word team quite a bit throughout this presentation, because it's so important. It's so important to collaborate with your team members and to always be a team player. And yeah, that's what makes it happen. But yes, we want to make sure that we deliver something that's going to be easy for everybody to read, and something that they can actually build to. So this is just an example of that. And the final result, you'll see that some of our images from earlier have been brought to life. This customer actually opted for a cooler color scheme with some blue accents, and we also help with the decor. So, you know, some of the pillows and some of the tabletop accessories and all of those finishing touches, and you could almost call them the jewels of the aircraft interior. Now, with the finishing touches like this, we are much more flexible on what is allowed on board, because they are considered carry-on items. So, you know, when you're going to the airport and you have your backpack with you and maybe a personal item, your suitcase. So those are considered carry-on items. And so these would fall into the same category. So as long as it isn't fixed to the aircraft, as long as it isn't fixed to the structure of the aircraft, it can pretty much be considered carry-on. So much more flexible with what fabrics can be used. Crystal as well is a very common request amongst most customers. China crystal, flatware, all of the nicest things that you can think of. But then we've got a few more images here. We've got this really nice bedroom here, just in the very back. And, you know, as you're winding down, you can take a nice cup of tea and enjoy your flowers and look out the window. And it's just a really nice, cozy space. And then just aft of that, or just back of that, we've got our lavatory as well. Very nice and spacious, and we've got like a nice soothing color scheme with this one. So this customer was very happy. This aircraft was actually used for charter, or it was used for charter operations. Now I believe it's privately owned. So sometimes that happens too. Sometimes there are aircraft that are made, they are used for a while, and they are very loved. But then somebody else might be interested in buying it. And so then the owner of the aircraft decides, okay, do I want to sell this aircraft, or do I want to keep it for myself? And so they have to make some decisions. So yeah, that was the life cycle that ended up happening with this aircraft. And just to sort of give a general background of my education and how I came to learn all of this stuff, because, you know, I started out just like you, as mentioned before, but after high school, I went to university, I went to college, and my bachelor's degree is from University of the Incarnate Word, and my degree's in interior environmental design. But actually, a lot of my coworkers had industrial design degrees. And so what's the difference? Interior design basically looks at the science of a space, how the space moves, how it flows. Color theory is also really big as well, and how it psychologically affects you, because every single interior environment that you're in is going to affect you in some way. And then you think about cluttered spaces, just to take an example. If you have a lot of clutter in a space, you know, how does that make you feel versus a space that's very, very clean and very well organized? There's a difference in how that'll make you feel. So the same applies for aircraft interiors. And then industrial designers design products. So essentially, the TV screen, the monitor that you might be watching this on right now, your phone, cars, aircraft, boats, all of these things were designed by somebody. And chances are they were an industrial designer or a product designer. So most of my coworkers, because they were industrial designers, I actually ended up taking some extra engineering courses so that I could keep up my skills with them. Now, with interior design, I still had quite a bit. We'll go back here just one more second. But in the background, you can see some of my projects that I completed when I was in school. And a lot of these design tools were like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, AutoCAD as well. We don't use Revit. If some of you guys are already know what some of the interior design softwares are, Revit is more for buildings, and we can't really use that for aircraft. So we use AutoCAD, and then SolidWorks. SolidWorks we use all the time, and so do the engineers and industrial designers as well. But then while I was in school, I actually had an internship at an aircraft completion center called Gore Design Completions, but then they changed their name to GDC Technics. And so I was happy to be involved with, this was actually my first project. It was for a marketing effort. And this is a very big aircraft right here. This is an Airbus A350. And so we've got bedroom in the forward, conference, gaming and dining. And then there's actually a movie theater in here as well, staff seating. But then, so I created this floor plan, and then I also came up with the carpet design in this, and then the rest of the team helped with the rest of the materials and everything to develop these beautiful images. And so this was a very special project, and it holds a very special place in my heart. And then we were talking about design tool capabilities as well, and what skills you might need to know for this profession. At least for what I do, AutoCAD was very important. This is an example of something I created when I was in school. This is actually a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which is a same as an A350, a composite airframe versus, so it's not the same as regular aircraft. Actually, both of these are composite airframes, which are much lighter than aluminum airframes. And Anyway, little side note there. But I was very proud of this because I was the only interior design student, and everybody else was an engineer, and so that was quite a proud moment for me. But this was actually made in AutoCAD. This would have been a little bit easier to build in SolidWorks, but I used 3D AutoCAD to help me with SolidWorks, and then I took extra SolidWorks classes when I was right after I had graduated in school. But speaking of 787, this is one concept that we came out with very recently. And this is a 787 Dreamliner. Wide body aircraft, we've got this sort of a coffee bar kind of setup. So you can go up, order your favorite beverage, and we've got all the fixings here to be able to make anything. And you could even make it into a juice bar if you wanted to. We've even had customers, express interest in, oh, you know what, that could be a juice bar. You know what? Yes, absolutely, it could. And so this is looking in the back towards the back of the aircraft. And then if you look forward, so this is the same space here. You're just looking forward now, and we've got this nice monitor where you can watch all of your favorite shows and play your video games, whatever it is that you do. Sit around with your friends, have a nice conversation, catch up with everybody. And then same bedroom from before, just a different angle. You can see that we've got all of the fancy finishings. We've got what we call Emperador marble. We've got some leather going. There's so many different fun things you can do in an aircraft interior as far as materials go. And so layering textures is something that we like to do quite a bit to add that additional interest. And then we've got a custom carpet as well here at the bottom. But then if you want to get really crazy, if somebody really wanted to have a gym on board their aircraft, they could do it. So here in this concept, we have we have a bike, we've got a treadmill, and then we've also got a massage seat here. Now, I will say for this concept, there's also regulations on where we can take off and land from. So for this seat and this space in particular, we would ask the passengers to take off and land from a regular aircraft seat, but then once they're in flight, they can then come and get their massage after they've had a nice run on the treadmill. So we've got those different options that you can have there. But yeah, you can get a little crazy with it if you want to. And there are ways to do things, and that is another thing in our business. We don't say no. We say let's look into it. Let's see what we can do. But then also, if you wanted to, this is a wide body aircraft also. In this concept, we have kind of like a show kitchen type of a concept. So instead of having just a traditional galley in the middle of the aircraft, we've sort of opened that up. And this customer has a desire to do large group entertainment on their aircraft. And so we have this show kitchen concept where we've got this nice island to set your food out. And then we've got some nice upper and lower cabinetry as well. But then we've also got some interest here again with the materials. We've got some mirrors down here at the bottom. We also call it Lexan mirrors or aviation glass. Again, everything has to be so special when it comes to the materials and everything. Just little fun facts here and there. But this is so that it keeps its strength while the aircraft is taking off and when it's landing. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit harsh when it's taking off and landing. So all of the hard materials have to be reinforced, and everything also has to be lightweight. I'll actually go back a couple. So anything that you see that has like stone in it. So, you know, we've got stone tops here, and we've also got some wood veneer as well. Everything has to be so lightweight. So it's not just like a slab of marble, and it's not just wood. All of that is milled down to an aircraft friendly thickness, and then it is mounted to what we call a honeycomb substrate. So that way it's a little bit more lightweight. I wanted to just bring that up. I wanted to mention that. But then we've got this luxurious lavatory that you could also have, this luxurious master bathroom, if you will. We've got this nice spacious steam shower over here in the back. And then on either side, we've also got our his and hers vanities. And so just makes for a really luxurious space to get ready, or if you're into Instagram, you could do get ready with me's there. You could have a lot of fun in these spaces. So this is just about everything that I have to say. This is just a snapshot of just everything that there is to do with our world. And I have actually known that I've wanted to do this since I was 16 years old. It was a conversation that I had with my friend in high school. And I told her, I think I want to be an interior designer when I grow up, because I was really into art and everything. And she said, oh, my aunt does that, but it's for airplanes. And so that was where I got the idea. And that was what I decided I was going to do for the rest of my life. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. If we want to get the ball rolling or anything, perhaps, oh, yes,
Wait, hold on. We
Hello?
can't see you. Hold on.
Well,
Say hi. Can you hear me?
can you
hi.
hear me?
Yes, thank you so much.
Hi.
Introduce yourself. My name is Bernarda, and is Boeing or Airbus easier to work on?
Oh, that's such a good question. And they're very similar. I would say that they're very similar. I've had how to say it. The Airbus aircraft, at least if we were to take the narrow body size, so the size of like a Southwest airplane, for example, the Boeing interiors come in just a little bit towards the top, whereas Airbus is a little bit more open, but it's very small. It's a very small difference. But we have a little bit more of a substantial portfolio in the Boeing category, but we do also work with the Airbus airframes quite a bit. So we both enjoy both of them very, very much the same. They're awesome. Both of them are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Ryan, and what would be a good college to apply for to become an interior designer?
Well, thank you so much, Ryan. That's such a good question. So I went to University of the Incarnate Word here in San Antonio, Texas. But so that's one option, and I loved my school, honestly. So I say that, of course. UTSA also has an excellent design program. I would say for aviation design, transportation design, yacht design, anything like that. I would say the Savannah College of Art and Design is excellent for industrial design. And I would also say the Columbus, I believe it's the Columbus College of Art and Design in Columbus, Ohio, is also quite good. So I would say any of those are great. With some interior design programs, you'll receive the tools of Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and but I believe nowadays they're more focused on Revit as far as building floor plans go and everything, which applies mostly to buildings, which is awesome if you want to do buildings. That's absolutely fantastic. But I would say these days, just as technology is developing, I think to do exactly what I'm doing, going for an industrial design degree might be of the most help. Unless you plan on working with just materials, then interior design you would be good with.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Hello, I'm Remy, and what is the hardest thing that you'd had to design?
Oh, I'm sorry, one more time.
What is the hardest thing that you'd have to design or had designed?
Oh my gosh. Well, something very interesting. We had a head of state project. It was for a head of state in Central Asia, one of the countries in Central Asia. And they wanted to take off and land actually from a massage seat, one that looked very similar to this. And this is actually where the whole spa concept sort of came from. And that was where the inspiration came from. And it's to certify a seat like this to take off and land from, it was going to be very costly, and it was going to take a long time essentially to develop this. And it was time and money that the customer decided to switch to an alternative. And so what we ended up doing, we took a regular aircraft seat and we put massage pucks on the inside of the back, so he could still get a massage as he's taking off, but he doesn't have to compromise, like, oh, you won't be able to take off and land from this seat. So we were able to fix it. We were able to pivot, and at least we were able to give him what he was looking for. It was just kind of in a different way, but ultimately they ended up loving it, and the aircraft is flying around still today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adam.
Hi.
What was the most expensive furniture you have designed?
Oh, the most expensive. Well, oh, that's such a good question. I know, because there's so much. Anything that's experimental, I would say. So for instance, this massage seat would have been a very heavy investment. It would have been very expensive to do. Anything where, say, it hasn't been done before in an aircraft, that's going to be the most expensive thing, and that's where the customer has to decide, do I want to be the very first person to ever have this? And do I want to invest the money to be the very first? Because everybody else after that then wants the massage seat after that, they're going to get it cheaper than the first customer did. And the reason it's so expensive in the beginning is because they have to pay for the research and development, the testing that goes behind it, the engineering, as well as any test articles that are built. There's so much that goes into it, and a lot of it is just experimenting with it and making sure that it's going to be safe to fly. And it's a lot of teamwork as well. So yeah, anything new, just taking the massage seat as an example, anything new like that is going to run very expensive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is William, and my question for you is, what is your favorite part about your job and why?
Oh my gosh. There's so many different parts that I could, oh my gosh, let me think about this. I love the beginning stages because that is when the possibilities are just endless, and you're in this discovery period with a customer, and it's a very sacred time as well, because you are really getting to know everything about them, how they use the space, how they want the space to make them feel, their habits, and certain very specific things that they want. Like, for instance, there was a customer that wanted a certain amount of outlets inside of the drawer of his bed, and we had to develop that quite a bit, just to ensure that, in the event that something would overheat, we wouldn't want the bed to overheat, for example, with so many outlets. So we came up with different solutions for ventilation, as well as making sure that the outlets wouldn't stay on as the aircraft is operating for a certain amount of time. That there would be an off switch at some point. But there's so many different things like that. But it was because they slept with certain equipment, like sleep apnea and everything. And so those are very special things to know about a person. And so just being able to walk through that with them, and really getting to what it is they're looking to do and how they're looking to use the aircraft, is always so special. But then seeing it all come together is also so wonderful, because you're putting together all of the finishing details, and you're putting so much love and care and energy into every single phase. And then the teamwork is also so special, because the people are what makes it happen. All of us collectively as a team. So all parts of it are so special, but I guess if I had to pick one, I would think the most exciting is just the unknown and discovering how the aircraft is actually going to be designed and developing that with the customer.
Thank you.
Thank
And we're
you.
like right just before like 10:10. Yes, okay, awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And Miss Rodriguez, we do have a bunch more questions. Would it be okay if we emailed you the student questions and maybe you just give us an answer for those questions we still had left?
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. This is so special, and I'm so happy to be here. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Wayne, anything you'd like to say before we close out? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Wayne. Wayne, we can't hear you. Oh.
What I tell my wife all the time. Anyhow, thank you all. I know the class has to get going, and but it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to do this, and we appreciate everyone's support. And Natalie, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll let everyone know when it's posted on our websites, including the PDF. So thank you all, and thank you, Carlos and Jill and UTSA, UT San Antonio, for all of your support, and we'll see you another time. Thanks.